headache, fever, vomiting, diarrhea, weakness in the arms and legs, and paralysis. Or on the contrary, you could have difficulty communicating and forming relationships with others. My name is Kathleen Janowitz, and I support vaccines, 100% of them, and you should too. The first symptoms that I mentioned today are the symptoms of polio. If you choose not to vaccinate your child has a higher risk of developing polio or another deadly disease. In the late 1900s, Andrew Wakefield stated that vaccines cause autism. He didn't have anything to back this up. The myth was later disproven by many studies and doctors around the world. He later lost his license to practice medicine. This was found not true at all. Even if I did believe that vaccines lead to autism, I would take autism over polio, whooping cough, or a deadly disease any day. Autism is something we can work on. Death is something we can't. Autism is something that we as a community can learn to understand. Death, not so much. If you have an autistic child, you can still hold and love them for the rest of their lives. However, this is not the case. Vaccines do not cause autism. This has been disproven by many studies and doctors around the world. I'm going to teach you some more about vaccines and how they work. In 1796, Edward Jenner injected a small amount of cowpox into an 8-year-old boy with hopes that it would cure smallpox. This was a success, and this was the first vaccine that was made. To understand this and how it works, we need to understand more about the immune system. Our immune system starts when foreign microbes invade the body. Our immune system tries to remove these microbes by coughing or sneezing to get them out of the body. Our T cells and B cells work in our immune system to fight off foreign objects. They remember these things that come into our body, and they remember the diseases in case the body has to fight them off again. But at the age the child is supposed to get vaccinated, they don't have an immune system. That's why vaccines are so important for a child. Vaccines introduce the body to a small amount of a disease, but not enough to cause the disease. It's not in full strength. It's just enough to teach the body how to fight off a deadly disease. If you choose not to vaccinate your child, you're not only risking your child, but you're risking everyone that your child comes in contact with. You're exposing everyone else to preventable diseases that can be prevented in this day and age. You're exposing elderly and older adults whose vaccines have weakened to preventable diseases. Vaccines should not be a personal choice. How can a parent disregard something that a doctor is saying? The doctor went to medical school for over 8 years to learn about how to fight diseases and what to do with them. How can someone discredit what a doctor is saying all because someone said a vaccine may cause autism but had nothing to back it up? A vaccine, if you do not vaccinate your child, I don't believe that you should be able to go to the doctor. If you're not listening to what the doctor has to say about a vaccine, why should you go to the doctor for something small such as strep throat? I never believe that this should be a personal choice. Every child should get vaccinated. It's far more than a personal choice. A personal choice is what you're going to have for dinner, if you want to breastfeed your child, or what town you want to live in. A vaccine is by no means a personal choice. If you don't vaccinate your child, I believe that this is a very selfish decision. Everyone should stop listening to the celebrities who claim to know more than the doctors, and we should start listening to the doctors who went to medical school. Last year alone, there were over 128,044 vaccine-preventable illnesses. There were over 1,336 vaccine-preventable deaths, and over 2.8 million lives were saved from vaccines alone. This is every reason to vaccinate your child. The key word in all of this is preventable. It's preventable diseases and preventable illnesses that vaccines can help. Imagine not vaccinating your child. Your little 10-week-old is in the ICU with polio because of your selfish decision. Your 10-week-old is hooked up to an IV and dying because instead of listening to a doctor, you listen to Jenny McCarthy, who knows nothing about vaccines. Everyone needs to stop listening to the celebrities and start listening to the doctors who have the medical experience. Babies can't choose to vaccinate themselves. We as parents need to advocate for them and make the right decision. We need to vaccinate our children. If we continue to not vaccinate our children, years and years of research can go to waste, and diseases that were once wiped out can make a comeback, killing thousands of innocent babies and adults. I do not have children, but when I do, I am confident that I'm going to vaccinate my child on schedule with every vaccine possible. We have enough diseases that we can't prevent or can't cure, such as cancer, so we need to prevent the ones that we can prevent. I urge all parents to listen to doctors and medical staff and to get educated when it comes to vaccines. Don't be selfish. Vaccinate your child, and remember whatever you decide to do affects not only your child, but everyone else around you. Get vaccinated. And here I have a little funny video, but a serious video about doctors' opinions on vaccinating your child.
I am a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
And I believe in vaccinations.
And I believe in vaccinations.
If you don't vaccinate your kids, it can endanger their lives.
The potential downsides of vaccinations are almost non-existent.
The cumulative scientific and medical communities are in absolute full agreement that there is basically no reason not to vaccinate your kids.
No reason.
Which is why I cannot believe we have to make this PSA.
I thought we settled this in the 50s.
Hey, remember that time you got polio? No, you don't, because your parents got you vaccinated.
I did 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school,
And 3 years of pediatric residency.
I had to go to school for 8 years.
I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about.
But you people still won't listen.
Now I have to use my only day off to talk to you idiots about vaccines?
I want to finish watching Breaking Bad.
I'm only halfway through the second season.
But instead, I've got to come here.
Because you listened to some moron who read a forwarded email.
Perfect.
All these people had to set up cameras, lights, sound equipment, so that I could tell you to do something we've been doing for a century. Look at all these people.
This is stupid.
Get your kids vaccinated.
Get your kids vaccinated.
Get your kids vaccinated.
Get your kids vaccinated or lose my number.
Get your kids vaccinated, or these doctors may never find out that Walt dies at the end of Breaking Bad.